Bitcoin just had a massive bear market rally of 32% in a matter of a few days. So are we going to see a really big retracement and head to new lows, or did we just experience the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you my personal opinion, of course, backed by data. You might as well call me Data Dan, because in this video, I'm going to show you the data, which is right here, right meow. First and foremost, obviously, and actually, let me show you this metric firstly. So if we look at the lengths of the bear market, it's been very coincidental for some reason, all right? From the bottom of the bear market, or from the top to the bottom in 2015, 378 days, okay? What happened the next time? 2017 to 2018, 378 days. And now what just happened with after the FTX news, where we bottomed at 15.5K? Well, that was 378 days. You can see we had 115x rally the first year, or not the first year, but the first true, real Bitcoin bull market. And then from 2018 all the way up until we had the top in 2021, we had a 20x return from the bottom to the top. So obviously, if you're coming anywhere close to timing the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market, you're probably going to do pretty decent into that next run up that Bitcoin has. And I think it's very, very interesting to see that it's almost timed the exact bottom to the day. So the length of time is looking like we did just bottom on that FTX news a few months ago. Now, if we were to like on a technical level, and we look at something like the RSI. Let's go ahead and take a look at the RSI first and foremost. When we see the RSI go past this mid-level of 50, okay, and sustain that for a bit, then we see once it officially breaks this really big downtrend, it starts to have higher lows and higher highs. That has been the bottom of the bear market. Even if we look back here in 2015 as well, same thing, sustained run all the way down well below the 50, even close to the 30 here. And then you see that once you start to have higher lows and higher highs, that has actually been right after the bottom for that market in Bitcoin. So you can see the bottom is right here, and we started to have higher highs, higher lows right in here in that bottoming section, that U-shaped section. Same thing in 2018, same exact thing. Now what happened? Same exact thing this year. We actually started from all the way back in February of 21, where we had lower highs, lower lows in a more of a bear market trend. Then once you see that we broke that right around the 15.5K level, and we actually started to have bullish divergence all the way back from June, which is when the whole Celsius debacle thing was happening. So on this indicator, it is showing the same exact thing that previous indicators have shown in the bottoms of the bear markets. Now let's go ahead and look at the MACD as well, okay, which really shows momentum, and it's just really a cross of moving averages. But still, it is pretty accurate, especially when you're looking over longer time frames, which is obviously exactly what we're looking at right here, which you can see that once we head into the bear market, we see the cross, usually about 2 months in. That cross is sustained all the way to the bottom of the bear market, which was right here. Then you see it actually curve and touch and cross right here, which is just a few months after the very bottom of the bear market. Again, it is in that section where you are looking for that bottoming section where it's kind of a U-shaped type recovery in there. Okay, now let's go ahead and look into 2018 as well. 2018, same thing, sustained all the way down. We had that cross right here on that big green candle when we started to head out of that U-shaped recovery. Now let's see what happened this year as well. Once we had the top at 69K, we see the cross slightly thereafter. We see it sustained all the way down. And guess what just happened? We just had the cross on this big green candle that we just had last week. So on the MACD, it is also showing that we are at the bottom. Now, if we were to look at the hash ribbon indicator on a 2-week time frame, you will see that it does very well timing sections where we have longer term bottoms. Now, it happens at the bottom of the bear market because all of the miners capitulate. What this is really showing you is the total terahash of the Bitcoin network, which comes directly from Bitcoin miners. And you can see usually when we're in the bottom of the bear market, you know what happens here is the difficulty actually goes down because the terahash goes down because people unplug their miners because it's less profitable because now Bitcoin is worth way, way less. So that's why you see the trend go down and difficulty typically go down at the bottom of the bear market. People unplug their miners, and then once this the terahash picks back up, difficulty goes back up, this then prints an actual buy signal. And that's exactly why you see that at the bottom of the bear market, or when there's a big correction and a big sell-off, because the miners that aren't well priced, they have high energy costs, they took on a lot of debt, they paid too much for their miners, they can't afford to operate anymore. So they have to unplug, which is why the difficulty in terahash goes down. And then again, once it picks back up, then you start to see that buy signal get printed. You see it twice happen here at the bottom of 2015, and then you see a big sell-off here happen once again before the run-up in 2017. Same thing happened in 2018. Okay, we saw the big sell-off. Very bottom of the bear market, right in that U-shaped buy signal. Okay, what happened right around COVID? Right before COVID, we saw a decent sell-off from the highs where we had the 300% gain right here. Buy signal during the COVID, and right before the big run-up, we saw a few of them. All right, same thing when China, banned mining. They unplugged all their miners. Big sell-off here. I think it was like a 40% correction. Bam, we had the buy signal. Now, we just experienced the first true buy signal on a 2-week time frame on the hash ribbons indicator, which is showing that we potentially just had that U-shape recovery and bottom of the Bitcoin cycle. Now, if we were to look at the last thing, the CCI, this is one of my favorite indicators as well, very similar to the RSI, but slightly different. And you'll see same thing here, like the RSI, when we go into a downtrend. Once you see the higher highs, higher lows, you see that we have just bottomed in the bear market. We see that was at the absolute bottom for the CCI, and you see higher highs, higher lows. You're sustained over the negative 100. You pass into the positive here, and then you have the really, really big run up of 2017. Same thing here, sustained all the way down well below negative 100, all the way into the negative 200 range. And then you see once you have higher highs, higher lows, back inside the negative 100 range, we are well into the Bitcoin bull market. Now, same thing here. We had this complete downtrend well past the negative 100, almost close to the negative 200 on the CCI. Then we see the uptrend of higher highs, higher lows, and we're almost into the positive region now on the CCI. So everything is looking up. And I will say that also, I think that part of the reason why there has been a nice rally is because the dollar has been collapsing. We have seen the dollar go down in value, which why does that matter for Bitcoin? Because what are we looking at here? We're looking at BTC USD, right? It's denominated in US dollars. So when the dollar goes down in value, it makes it easier for Bitcoin to go up. So we want to see this chart continuing to go down, which it has been selling off really quite hard since September of 2022, which has been really, really great to see, because that is primarily why there was a massive bear market in 2022. All right, so I want to see this continue to go lower. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little spike here, because this is a key level of support that I think we could bounce off of. And we have had a lot of sell-offs, and we're starting to have some divergence, not huge, but slight divergence on the RSI for the dollar. Now, the stock market is retesting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and actually really 6 right there. 6 tests of the resistance. If you know anything about on the technical side, the more touches you get, the weaker that resistance will become. And I do think that we are potentially forming a cup and handled or inverse head and shoulders, where you got the left shoulder here, the head right here, the right shoulder, and we could bounce higher, or you could get the cup here and the handle right here, and then you see us bounce all the way through and break through. So I do think that the probabilities in the odds that we do break higher, especially considering that the dollar is coming down, the Fed is starting to decrease the velocity of the rate hikes, and things are starting to look up a little bit. Sentiment starting to roll around, and people are not as worried about this major meltdown like everyone was over the past 12 months. That does not mean everything is perfect, everything is great, and la-di-da-di-do in the macro economy. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But again, I would not be surprised if we finally see this rally, this surprise rally, really screw a lot of people that are buying puts and heavily leveraged to the downside. It'll free up a lot of liquidity and probably bring the crypto markets even higher. So right now, I'm actually in a long position on Bitcoin. And I'm going to show you exactly why, because I want to compare this to back in 2018. So if you look at that really big downtrend that we had, the U-shaped recovery, well, what happened? We had that really big green candle. Then what happened? We had this kind of almost flag pattern, but it's not a bull flag, because usually bull flags come down with lower lows and lower highs, but we have higher highs, higher lows here. And then what we see is this big purple candle, aka red candle, where we had a big sell-off right here, okay? And everyone here was probably saying, oh, now we're going back down to 3K, right? We're going down to 2K, right? But in fact, what happened is since that red candle right there, this move was actually over a 300% move from the lows for Bitcoin. And actually, if we were to just look from this red candle right here, this was actually about 179% gain from just right here. And again, from the lows, it was about it was like 312%, I believe it was. So if we were to look at where Bitcoin is at right now, right, we just had that big bottoming, time period. Then we had the huge spike here. We have this higher highs, higher lows. We've got the big red candle, which happened today. And that's actually exactly why I set a limit order here, because I know how important it is to get great entries if you're going to decide to trade with a certain portion of your portfolio or manage capital professionally. You have to have really great entries on your position. So I set my entry pretty close to this the swing low over here after the really big rally and slight sell-off here. And I've got a really great entry on Bitcoin, hoping for this continued rally, which I think could potentially happen. I'm not going to say it goes 179% because that would put us close to, in the low 50K range. But I do think there is a pretty good opportunity that we do head higher for Bitcoin and crypto before actually seeing a correction, very similar to what we saw in 2019, where we saw a 300% gain here. Then we see the correction all the way back down to the 3K range. I would not be surprised if there is a pretty sustained rally that is coming, that is going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to liquidate a lot of shorts, and then it's going to get a lot of FOMO buyers as well, buying the top, and then watch, they're going to start selling the bottom once again. Anyways, let me know what you think about the markets below. I do want to give a quick shout out to one of our algorithms that I am running up 2.6 just today, which is 4.3K. I do trade myself. I manage capital. I run a business. I do like to trade in my free time as well, but I also just like my money to work for me too. So we build algorithms that trade on set pairs on the FX and commodity side, that we take successful trading strategies, we program them and automate them so that they can run while we are sleeping. And you can see this year, which we're on, January 18th right now, it's already up 12%, and I haven't done anything, which is really, really great. So if you want some information about how to license this software from us, there is a link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are we heading for lower prices, or do you think we're going to have that sustained rally that I just went over? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks so much. See you here on this next video.